What's going on, guys? It's Max here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to mod your 3DS. The 3DS eShop shut down a few months ago, so people have kind of been discounting this console, but I decided I want to make a video to show you that that's not the case. And here I have a 2DS that is part of the 3DS family, and any 3DS can be modded, any 3DS from the 3DS family. So let me get into what you need to mod your console. So the first thing you're going to need, obviously, is a 3DS. You can choose anyone from the family. Like I said, I have this 2DS here. I picked up at a local game store. So yeah, I have this one. So this is the one we're going to be using today. Next thing you're going to need is an SD card. I have a micro SD card that's 256 gigabytes into an SD card adapter. 8 gigabytes or more is recommended. I have a 256 just so I can get all the games I want covered and all the emulators and stuff you can do with it after it's modded. I have all that stuff placed on here. But yeah, so an SD card of at least 8 gigabytes, and it's going to need to be formatted into FAT32. So we will get into that later on in the video. Finally, the next thing you're going to need is a laptop or computer. You can use Windows, Mac, Chrome. You can even use your phone. You can use Android. But for this tutorial, I'm going to use Mac. But basically, everything is the same if you have a Windows device or Linux device or something of the sort. Okay, so the first thing we're actually going to want to do before we start the modding process is format our SD card. So if your SD card is bigger than 32 gigabytes, you can't format it into FAT32 normally. But what I actually found that works great for both Windows and Mac is actually the Raspberry Pi imager. So download the Raspberry Pi imager from Raspberry Pi's site, then under Raspberry Pi device just put no filtering, then on operating system just format card as FAT32, then for storage you're going to want to choose your SD card. In my case it's this one. Then you're going to want to click next. It'll say all data on the device will be erased, so click yes. Then it's going to prepare to write, and it's going to write your SD card and format it as FAT32. So now that our SD card is formatted, we can go ahead and put this in our system. So I'm just going to put this in the SD card slot, and it might freeze for a second depending on how big your card is. So we're just going to let this take its course, and it should pop up with a notification. Yep, there we go. So it's creating home menu, and it should have been created, and we can go ahead and check that by going to the settings. So if we go to the settings and then go to data management and go to Nintendo 3DS and then go to software, let's say, and on the SD card, you can see the open blocks is 999999. It might be different, but at least it recognizes there's an SD card and it tells us how many blocks are free. While we're in the settings, we can actually go ahead and make sure our system is updated. So to do that, we're going to go to other settings, then go all the way over to number 4 and go to system update. And then at system update, it asks if you want to connect to the internet. Click I accept, and if you're not connected to the internet, you need to. After hitting I accept, you should see a thing that says plug in the AC adapter, and then it will connect to the internet. And if your software needs an update, it'll go ahead and update. So we can check mine real quick. And mine actually didn't need an update, so we're going to let this go ahead and update to the latest version of the software, and then I'll get back to you. After our system is updated, we're going to want to make note of the version number that we have here. So the version 11.17.0-50U is mine. Yours might be a little bit different, but the 11.17.0 should be the same. So make note of that, and let's head back to the computer. So from the site that I linked in the description is where we're going to follow most of this guide. So going from that, we're going to go to the version check. We're going to go either old 3DS or new 3DS. So I'm going to pick old 3DS just because of mine. And we're going to want to use that number that we found earlier. So 11.17.0-50 and then U for me at least. And like I said, this could change based on yours. So click confirm. And then you're going to want to choose which operating system you're on. So, click which one you're on, either Android, Chromebook, Linux, Mac OS, or Windows. I'm going to choose Mac OS for mine. And this will bring us to installing Bootstrap. So the first thing we're going to need is MSET9. So we can go ahead and click this. And I can click here, and that will download MSET9. And then after that, we also need Python installed. So we're going to click Python. And then when we're here, we're going to download Python 3.13.1 and run that. So, the first thing we're going to have to do is take MSET9, double click into it, which will extract it, and we need to take all of this that's in this folder, copy it, then go to your 3DS SD card, and paste it onto the root of the SD card, which just means the very first thing when you click SD card, paste it there. Next, we're going to need to run the Python command, so click which one that pertains to your SD card or pertains to your operating system. So, I have Mac OS, so I'm going to double click this. And it's going to say, are you sure you want to open it? Just click open. and this will pop out. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my password and then click allow if it asks you if it wants to use your SD card. Okay, so now after this pops up, we're going to want to click the number that corresponds to our DS. So old 3DS, 2DS from 11.8 to 11.17 is going to be mine. So I'm going to go ahead and click 1. Then it's going to see if the SD card is writable. In this case, it is. So then we're going to want to click 1 to begin the process of creating MSET9. Then it's going to give us a disclaimer. Click 1 again to confirm. Then it's going to say creating hacked ID 1. Okay, and once it's finished, we can see a thing that says press enter to exit. So I'm going to press enter, and we can reinsert our SD card into our Nintendo 2DS or 3DS. Once our SD card is reinserted, we need to go to Meme Maker, and we need to wait and go to a specific screen when it reaches Meme Maker. So we need to wait for it to go to the Welcome to Meme Maker screen. Then we need to exit and return to the home menu. So right here, so we're just going to exit and return to the home menu. Now, we need to launch system settings. Now I need to go to Data Management, then Nintendo 3DS, then Software, and then click Reset. This, don't worry by the way, this won't reset any of our actual data. This is just a dummy file that it's resetting. So now click OK, and now we need to power off our console. Now we need to reinsert our SD card and launch our system again. Now we need to go back into System Settings. Now we need to go back to Data Management, then Nintendo 3DS, then Extra Data, and this is going to be a little bit different. So don't click any buttons and don't touch the screen, but with the console still on, we need to remove the SD card from our console. So don't click any buttons, just remove the SD card and it should still stay on, and we need to go back to the computer. So with our SD card now in our computer, we need to double click that command one more time. Then we need to click our version. Then we need to click number 3 this time. Then we should see a thing that says MSET9 successfully injected and press enter to exit. Now we need to go back to our DS. So with our 3DS still on and still not touching any buttons, we're going to reinsert our SD card back into our device, and it should refresh this page again. And if it was successful, we should boot into the Safe B9 installer. So as you can see, mine just booted in. It just took a bit of a second, and right now it's going to check everything. After it checks everything, you should see a screen like this, and it's going to ask you for a combo key code. So we're just going to use the D-pad and do that. So mine is side, down, side, up, A. So after we do that, it's going to do a firm backup, and after it says that, we're going to click A, and we should reboot into the Luma menu. This is exactly what we want to be in, and once it's in this, we don't really want to change anything here, so we're going to click Start, and this is going to reboot our console. After it powers off, we're going to want to take out the SD card and power it off and reinsert it into our computer. So now we need to remove MSET9 from our console because that was just the trigger to boot into the payload. So what we're going to do is double click that command one more time. Then we're going to click the number corresponding to our console. Now we're going to click 4 to remove the trigger file. Then after that, we're going to click 5 and remove MSET9. Once it's done, we can click enter to exit. But we want to keep our SD card in our computer for right now. We're almost done. Now we just need to finalize the setup. So go back to the link I sent you in the description, and we need to go to finalize helper, and we also need finalize.romfs. So we need to take everything from the finalize.romfs, and we need to put it to the root of our SD card. So just put that on the root of the SD card. Then we need to go into the Luma folder, and if there's not already a folder that says payloads, you need to create it. And we need to take the finalized helper.firm and copy that. And then we are going to go back to our SD card, into Luma, into payloads, and paste it there. Now we can put our SD card back into our computer. The first thing we have to do is press left shoulder, D-pad down, and select at the same time. This should bring us into the Rosalina menu. And from here, we want to go down to miscellaneous options. Then we want to go to dump DSP firmware, and it'll say it's successfully written. So press B to continue. Then we need to go to nullify user time offset. Then we need to reboot to finalize the changes. So press B, then press B again. Then we go to power off, and just go ahead and reboot your console. What we want to do now is power off our console, and we need to hold X and power our console on. So when that happens, that's going to bring us into God Mode 9. And what that's going to do is it says essential files backup not found, create one now. You're going to want to click yes. Then it says the backup was written, so we're going to press A. Now we need to press the home menu, then select scripts. Then we need to select the finalized script, so select A. If it asks you any questions during the setup of the script, you just want to click A for yes, click A, and then it might ask you for key code combinations, so just put those in as well. After it's done, you should see a thing that says setup complete, so press A, and this will reboot us, and we're basically done from here. So once we're back in the home menu, we should see a bunch of GIFs. So I'm going to go ahead and unwrap these and explain to you what each of them does. So Anemone is a 3DS theme manager, so if you want to install custom themes and backgrounds for your 3DS, that's what that is. This is Flagbrew. This is a save manager, so you can load and change a bunch of saves on all of your games. This is FBI. This is probably the most important homebrew app, so you can install CIA files, which are external homebrew apps that you can find online or through a QR code, and it will download them. So things like HShop, where you can get all the games you want, and I can't exactly tell you where to find that, but you can just look on the internet. FTPD is a thing where it will give you an IP, and you can put that into your computer and drag and drop files from your computer to it if you don't want to take out the SD card every time. The Homebrew Launcher is a launcher for any specific homebrew apps that aren't Nintendo official. And the Homebrew Updater is if there ever is an update that comes out for this, it will automatically update for you. So guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is just a simple little modding tutorial and will breathe new life into your 3DS. And the 3DS is honestly so underrated and one of my favorite consoles. So if you do like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!